Can you build wealth in New York City on 80K a year? A lot of people would tell you it's impossible. Even people making 2 or 3 times that would tell me that they have hard time saving and life is so expensive that they just spend everything they make. But let's run the numbers. And let me tell you that I am the living proof of the fact that you can build wealth, save, and invest living in New York City while making 80K a year. So first of all, let's see how much of take-home income we'll have after taxes in New York City. 80K might sound like a lot, but remember that in New York, we have to pay not only federal, but also state and city taxes. So depending on your situation, if you're single or married, if you have dependents, you could be left with $4,800 to $5,200 per month after taxes. And now let's look at your expenses. Number one, the most important and the most disliked one for sure in New York City is the rent. A good rule of thumb is that your rent should be no more than 30% or even better, under 25% of your income. But as we know, it's often not the case in New York City. Sky is the limit for rents in New York City. There are people who are spending $200,000-$300,000 a year on their rent in New York, which by itself could be a decent income. But if we have to be mindful of what we're making and if we have to be smart about our finances, let's see what our expenses should be like. Because we're talking about making 80K a year, the most important thing is to save on your rent, which in this case means that you'll have to share your living space. It could be a roommate or significant other, but in any case, the point is not to pay the entire rent by yourself. There's a singles tax, as we call it in New York City, which is when you pay for the entire place and you live by yourself, which is way more expensive if you take into consideration New York City rents. So you're spending $1,500 to $2,000 a month for rent in a shared space. I've been sharing for a very long time, and I know personally that for me, it's the cornerstone of my financial stability. So my plan is to continue to share my rent and save towards my retirement that way. Next is transportation. Obviously, you're living on 80K in New York, so no Ubers or very, very exceptional occasions for taking Ubers. And your transportation budget for a month is $130, which is your Metro card to get to work or go shopping, go out with friends. Everything is included in this amount. Groceries in New York City would run you from $400 to $600 a month. My personal budget is about $500-$600 a month. Obviously, it's as expensive as you make it. You'd spend about $100 to $200 for utilities, which include the internet, gas, and electric bills. Dining out and entertainment is capped at $300 to $600. This is a good balance, which would still allow you to enjoy life outside of your home, but at the same time, you're being mindful about your budget and you're putting your energy into saving for the future, into building this financial stability, paying off debt, creating your emergency fund, and investing your money eventually for future growth. Personally, I do not go to restaurants and bars very frequently, and I would say that most of the time I would meet friends for drinks rather than dinner. I would have my meal at home and then go meet my friends and maybe just have a couple of snacks with our drinks. That is a very economical way of still enjoying your time out, but not spending as much as you would for elaborate dinner with appetizers, main courses, and desserts. Cooking your meals at home is also very important for managing your budget. So the more you cook, the better it is for yourself, not only in terms of how much you save, but also in terms of your health, because you know exactly what you put into your food and hopefully you make it with love. And this all nourishes your body and makes you feel better. And we also have to think about other expenses which are not as large as your rent, for example, or grocery bills. Health insurance would run you about $200 a month if it's an employer-sponsored plan. And you also have to think about clothes, shoes, all the small items you buy throughout the month. So there's 200 allocated to those expenses. Let's see how much all of this adds up to. So we're looking at $2,930 to $4,030 of expenses per month. Now let's see what we're left with. And the range for your savings in this case would be from $770 per month to $2,320. So in a year, you could be saving anywhere from $9,240 to $27,840. And these are fantastic results if you think about living in one of the most expensive cities in the world on $80K per year. Obviously, building wealth on $80K in an expensive place like New York City won't be an easy overnight journey, and you probably won't see meaningful results in the first 1 or 2 years after you start your financial journey. But if you give it 5, 6 years, you will be very, very proud of your results, and you will be thankful to that past you that made this decision to stick to a plan and invest into your future financial independence. As they say, no pain, no gain. And usually the greater the pain, the greater the gain. You would not expect the dramatic results if you're going to a gym once a week and you want to lose some weight. But if you're going to the gym 3 times a week, that's a different story. If you add some changes to your diet, that's another plus. It's the same with saving and investing for your future. It all starts small, but as you combine several factors and you let them accumulate throughout the year and grow, it will all be worth it at the end of the day. Let me know how you're managing your finances. If you're making not a lot of money, or if you're making a lot and spending a lot in New York City or in any other high cost of living area. I would like to hear about this and your saving and investment journey. That's all for today. Like, subscribe, and comment. Till next one. Bye.